Hello all, this is Kanu Butani here, and uh, in today's video we will see how the IBM Maximo workflow administration works. So the agenda for the day is that we'll see the workflow designer and the processes, their nodes, the transition, escalations, the roles and responsibilities, the properties, ownership, how it is tested and deployed, its security, the logs and monitoring, and workflow templates. So moving on, so the first one is Workflow Designer. It is a graphical tool in Maximo that allows the administrators to create and modify the workflows. It also provides an intuitive interface to define the workflow processes using nodes, the transitions, and the conditions. So it has a big set of the nodes and the conditions that we require, an administrator requires to create the workflow. So everything is there in this designer, which is in a graphical format. Moving next, the workflow processes are the sequence of steps that are like the work orders, the service requests, which will define it into an entire life cycle. And these all include the various actions, the approvals, and the assignments that are linked with the workflow. The nodes are the individual steps that a workflow process has, and they can be configured with actions like creating the tasks, sending notifications, updating data, and executing automation scripts. I have created a video for automation scripts. You can check what they are. The transitions define the flow between the workflow nodes. So they specify the condition under which the record should move from one step to another. So the conditions can be like that if the approval is provided by the manager, then it should go ahead. And if the approval, if it is rejected, then it should go somewhere else. So this is an example that can be based on the status change or the fulfillment of certain criteria, as we discussed, the approval or the rejection. Then the escalations are used to trigger the actions for certain conditions like sending the reminders or escalating overdue tasks. The roles and responsibilities are assigned to a specific user or groups to determine that they are responsible for performing some actions. You can't give it to all the people and everyone to create the workflow, and therefore these roles and responsibilities are very important. Then comes the properties, like the administrators can set up the properties to control the behavior or the display the workflow actions, the email notifications, or the record locking. So these are some of the properties which administrators can use to design, or when they are designing the workflow, they need such actions. Then comes the ownership. Of course, each workflow has its owner because it should be owned by someone, and a person responsible has to manage and maintain that specific workflow. That one workflow should be assigned to one owner only because if you assign to multiple owners, then whose responsibility will be will not be defined properly, so you need to assign a proper owner for that workflow. Once you have created and modified the workflow, you can test it in a sandbox environment, which is a testing environment that is given to us, and then you can deploy it on production once you are satisfied with the testing and the of the workflow, the functionality which you need is there in it. Then you can move ahead. The security is very important because we have to ensure that only the authorized users can create and modify and execute the workflows, not everyone. Logs and monitoring help us to see that we are on track of the execution of workflows, and we identify the potential bottlenecks and troubleshoot any issues. So once you do that, then it is like the templates. There are many different templates that you can create, which can be served as reusable workflow structures, and for different records and scenarios you can use them. So reusability is also given in the workflows. So I guess it is a very good session and informative session on the workflow administrations and the workflow graphical tool that we have it in IBM Maximo. So that's it for this video. We'll see in next video on another topic. Thank you. Bye bye.